Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Scooby Month on Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. I am so sorry that this review is late. It wasn't my intention to have so few videos this month, but that's how it turned out. And what's worse is, I don't really have enough time to make it up to you. I can, at most, get a couple of reviews for the show up the remaining few days of this month, a video game review, and hopefully that movie review I had planned. But I do plan to make it up to you in some form or fashion at a later time. Also, I am extending Scooby Month through the remainder of the week. Normally it was going to end on Wednesday, because that's the end of January, but now it's going to go all the way through into February, just so that I can hopefully get up some more videos. Thanks for being so cool with the delay. Now, onto the review. Episode 4, Frickert Fracas, is what I think of when I remember the new Scooby-Doo movies. For some odd reason, it's ingrained into my memory more so than any other episode in this series. I think a lot of this has to do with Jonathan Winters, a man I literally know nothing about aside from what's said in the episode. And what I do know about him is he is insanely talented. He brings a lot of dry wit and humor to, well, I guess his own self and to the episode. It's fun watching his cowardice and humor play off of Scooby and Shaggy's. Heck, he can even throw his voice like Shaggy, which is interestingly referenced again. Even though I remember this episode so vividly whenever I'd recall the show, I can't say much for its plot. I mean, it's not exactly spectacular. You can certainly say it's pretty funny, again thanks to Winters, but this is another episode that falters a bit due to an increased runtime. If the show hadn't strong-armed itself into having 40-minute episodes, I think quite a lot of the episode and humor could have been condensed into a much stronger 20-minute one. For example, a lot of the plot focuses on two musicians sneaking around the farm before eventually getting caught and proven not to be the Scarecrow about 20 minutes into the episode. What should have happened, in my mind, is this. Trim the episode to 20 minutes or so, have these characters be red herrings throughout and revealed as early as 10 minutes in. Then, spend the remainder of the time on the Scarecrow. At least that's how I'd fix the episode. Even Cartoon Network, when re-airing this specific episode, actually cut a scene short. If that doesn't say this episode was too long, I don't know what would. Also, the musicians completely vanished from the third act. They never reappeared again, not even with all the noise going on outside. I get they were already working with a decent sized cast at this point, and I don't know if I would have trusted them to handle even just two more, but they could have shown up at the end. I don't know, it just bugs me honestly. It's not all bad though. Like I said, the episode is filled with many humorous moments. Winter's voice projection, Grandma Maud. Luckily they banked on Winter's personality and charm, otherwise I think this would have been a torturous 40 minutes. So, in the end, how does this heavily nostalgic episode stand up today? I think it's still fine. It's not a great episode, but the humor seen throughout will hopefully distract you from some of the episode's other shortcomings. That's it from me. Now it's your turn to chime in with your memories of this episode in the comments below. What did you like about it the most? Let me know below. Thanks for watching, and take care. Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon, and today that's a new review of Be Cool Scooby-Doo. Episode 21, Eating Crow takes the gang to a small town, more specifically two farms, being terrorized by a living scarecrow. Throughout the episode, we also get to see another member of the Scooby Gang be romantically interested in a character. And that would be our poor Fred, who continually attempts to impress Beth with his mystery-solving abilities. Of course, as anyone could tell you, trying to do something for other people will make you fail, even if you're good at that particular something. Still, I always do enjoy a little bit of romance subplot in my Scooby-Doo show. I mean, back in the day, I was a huge Fred and Daphne shipper. With these versions of the characters, though, not so much. Obviously, that's not a big part of this iteration, so we don't really see much of it in this episode, despite it being most of what Fred does in the episode. The most notable and funny moment of Fred's hang-up was when they first met. It felt like it was meant to play on similar moments in other shows where it zooms in all romantic-like, only for the girl to be weirded out. In this iteration of the show, as I've said before, all of the characters generally have something to do. Daphne has her isms, and the other characters have, well, they have something going on. In this episode, Velma had her allergies. Daphne wanted an animal companion like Scooby, and we already talked about Fred's. Now, I wasn't particularly fond of Velma's allergies because it was mostly annoying seeing her sneeze all over the place. Sure, it did end up connecting the contradictory clues together by the episode's end, but I'm not even sure how they figured that out in the first place. Basically, I think they could have toned down her allergies and still pieced together the clues. The Daphneism this time around also wasn't my all-time favorite either. Started off as a nice little exploration of her childhood and how she never really had a friend, let alone an animal friend like Shaggy had Scooby, but then it got tiresome. Personally, I feel it would have been better to focus on a single animal instead of the several she ended up lugging around with her, but that's just me. Actually, now that I say it, this whole episode felt overall meh to me. I won't go so far as to say it was poorly written or bad, because most of my hang-ups with it can be chalked up to personal preference. There were some good moments though, as I always try to find no matter what. First off, the chase music was really great. I could see myself listening to that in my car any day. I think the song was Old Stomping Grounds. And second, I liked how there were two villains this time around, both completely oblivious to the other. They also ended up not being taken to jail, which is a twist I haven't seen in a long time on Scooby-Doo. Of course, this isn't a Cartoon Hangout review without discussing the monster of the week, the Scarecrow. Now, recently one of the writers of the show, John Barry, explained that most of the monsters are not based on any specific previous monsters, except for ones like the Ghost of Elias Kingston, which kind of calls into question the part of my review where I try to decipher what monster they're reimagining. Despite all that, I think I'm still going to draw comparisons because, quite frankly, it's fun to research. Now, this week's monster is definitely not truly based on any past Scooby-Doo villain because the living Scarecrow can be added to the list of commonly used monster designs. Heck, even Goosebumps did it. Still, there have been quite a few different Scarecrows in the Scooby-Doo franchise, most notably the Scarecrow from the new Scooby-Doo movies, the Frickert Fracas. And that's been my review. Not the greatest or worst episode of Be Cool Scooby-Doo, but I was certainly left feeling very lukewarm about it. There was just one other fun moment from the episode I'd forgotten to mention, so let me just show it.
Tin Man, there he is! Like, where have you been, Scarecrow?
Hello, Yellow Road, follow?
This was definitely the biggest highlight of the episode, mostly for reasons I can't get into right now. But what did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and take care.